All right. What is up, everybody? It's FP Dawn. I'm happy to be back streaming another FPPL draft. Today we've got Division 4 Northwest, the second last draft of the FPPL League, FPPL Series. I'm happy to be back today. Got a big one starting in just about 3 minutes now. And then at 9 p.m., we also have the Content Creators League. So, this is a league we started last year trying to kind of bring together the fantasy hockey community. That'll be at 9 p.m. Myself and FP Chris are both drafting in that, and FP Chris will actually be streaming that one. So, for now, at 7, we got the FPPL to focus on. I'm going to be here with you guys throughout it all, commentating and kind of analyzing the picks. Here to answer any of your questions. Feel free to drop one in the comments if you got one, and don't forget to leave a like. We're just about under 3 minutes until first pick, until we see McDavid go off the board. And just a reminder, yeah, it's Div 4 FPPL. This is the 11th draft out of 12. Last one is tomorrow. I believe it's at 8 p.m. and FP Sven will be hosting that one. And that'll wrap things up, and then we get into the league. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you're having a good Tuesday night. Had to remind myself what day it was, but yes, Tuesday night. Looking forward to another night of fantasy hockey. I'll quickly run through the teams we got here in case any of them are actually in the stream and tuning in. We got first pick Ventures Victorious team. Natural Born Kellers is at number 2. Formanton Construction at number 3. Mui's Breathtaking Team. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I know I've seen Mui's in the FPPL streams before, so welcome back. Top G picking at 5. Utah Soakers at 6. Rocky is at 7. Ryan's Rad Team is at 8. And then we got What the Puck at 9. Flying Camels with the very unique logo at 10. Western Valley Panthers at 11, and then rounding out the top 12 is Curtis's definitive team. So a couple of you guys need to change your names. Those Yahoo names where they have first name and then some type of descriptive word team. You could always tell those are the default names. So change your name. It's more fun that way. All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I see a couple questions. I'll answer them just before we get started. We're about a minute until draft. I think Zeegs hits 70 points this year, says Street Shark. Yep, 70 points is doable. We got to see him stay healthy. I don't really know what to think of Anaheim. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, especially with the injuries they had last year. If anything is close to that, they'll be hardly able to field an NHL team. So 70 points, probably the ceiling for Zegras this year. I'd like to see him in like 2-3 years where he's at. Horvat or Natchez? I think Natchez. Horvat is a little held back by his pure C position. Natchez also on a better team. Only thing Horvat's got going for him is the scoring. So he might score maybe 5 to 10 goals more than Natchez, but yeah, overall Carolina's better. Gensel or Eichel? I'm going to go with Gensel. Hype Z asked that. Yeah, I'll go Gensel. New opportunity. We kind of have his Pittsburgh numbers to go with off a floor. Yeah, that's great. I love seeing you guys answering and helping the questions out in here too. Feel free to post your opinion. All right, so we're getting started. We got Venture on the clock here with the first pick. I don't expect any surprises, but you never know. I bet it'll go McDavid, Mac, Matthews, Cooch, Dry, Pasta, Makar, Rant. That's a very specific top 8 or 9. We'll see if you're right. You're 1 for 1 so far. What do you think about Lawson Krause? He's okay in a bangers league only, so if bangers and periffs like hits and blocks are worth anything, I don't mind him. He's just kind of limited to that, though, maybe 20 goal kind of expectation. Okay, so we see McDavid go first, McKinnon go second, and that's probably the first time we've seen a non-McDavid, McKinnon, Matthews top 3. Pasta actually goes third to Formanton's Construction. Matthews falls to Muiz at 4th overall. I think he's going to be very happy about that. Pasta and Matthews are probably 2 of the best shooters in the league and probably could easily lead the league in shots on goal. But I think Matthews is still got a little bit of a leg up on him. He's a little bit younger, probably on a better team still. So that's a little bit surprising, but hey, it's the FPPL. Anything can happen. Russell's traded Corpy for 6K today. If you're getting 6K, I think I like that more just because he's got more long-term season value. Corpusal might be very good for the first couple months, but when Sway does sign or get traded and sign, um, Pekka Luukkonen might be a little bit stronger. My drafts tonight, DJ Random, good luck, man. Fantrax is a pretty good site. Just won a fantasy baseball league with FP Mike the other day on that. Can I join league still, or is it still too late? Unreal Backy, it is a little bit too late for this year, but we do have a wait list. If you check out our website or join our Discord, it'll be posted in there. We will contact you for next season, or if we need any kind of fill-ins at all this year. Or is it just me, or the audio's super quiet? All right, I had this comment last time too. I don't know if it's just you. I actually had the FP guys listen back to let me know if I was too quiet, and they said it was fine. So I'd probably just suggest turning up your mic a little bit. Your volume a little bit. I have turned my mic up. I'll put my mic a little bit closer. All right. So after the surprise 3-4, we see Kucherov go 5 to top G. First D off the board to Utah. He takes Cale Makar. Leon Draisaitl goes 7 to Rocky, which is very good value. We've been seeing Leon go at 6 a lot, even as early as 4. So 7 is pretty good for Leon, who could very well be first or second in points this year. Mikko Rantanen goes 8, followed by Brady Tkachuk at 9. So the Bangers gem goes 9 to What the Puck. And then his brother goes 10 to Flying Camels. So the brothers go back to back. 9-10. We got Western Valley on the clock. He's gonna take Jack Hughes at 11. And Curtis has the turn pick, so we're gonna see 2 picks from him. I would assume he's gonna take a D if he's been kind of following any FP and FPPL drafts so far this year. We've seen a lot of Ds go on the turn, so maybe like Yossi. Kopitar or Horvat this season. I'll go Horvat. He shoots more, scores more. Goals are typically worth a little bit more in fantasy, so I like Horvat. Kopitar is also getting up there in age. I want to say he's like 36 to 38 right now, so Father Time will catch up sooner or later. I'm turning the sound up, but it's super soft. Okay, I'll try and, as I said, move that mic closer to my mouth. Don't really know. I don't want to fiddle around with the settings right now in the middle of the draft. What do you think about Kopitar? Yeah, pretty much just commented on it in the Horvat question. He's an okay, late round pick, last 2-3 rounds, but you should not be taking him too much earlier. He's got some competition for power play time and kind of in that top 6 in LA, who's pretty top heavy. Who would you guys trade J-Rob for? I've been trying to move him, but the best offer I've got was Barkov. I like J-Rob over Barkov. I would probably just hold off, definitely at least until he's got the injury tag off of him. When he does, he might be a little bit easier to move, but people are still kind of down on him because of his year last year. I would just hold on to J-Rob for now, and he's gonna start scoring soon. All right, so I was right. We did see Panarin and Yossi go back to back by Curtis. Kaprizov goes 2-2 to Western Valley. He starts Hughes Kaprizov, and then Flying Camels going with a really bangers heavy approach goes Tkachuk and JT Miller. I like that, and then we see our third D go as expected to What the Puck. He takes Darlene, so he's also going with the bangers and Perif's heavy focus. Willie Nylander goes to Ryan's rad team, so he goes back-to-back right wing, which is probably the thinnest position outside of D this year. So that's good to see him cover that right off the bat. We see Bouchard go 2-6, so the D run might be starting now, which is an FPPL classic. Utah did take a D in the first round with Makar, so I can't imagine he's going to take another one, but you never know. There's like Hedman still available that we usually see go in the first couple rounds. He does go EP40, so it takes Elias Pettersson, who had what a lot of people were saying is a down year last year, but he's actually still productive. Still was around that 90, 100 point range. So EP is a solid pick in the second round. I have no problems with it. He's got center or left wing eligibility as well. Lost ones. My league doesn't have hits. Would it still make sense to go with the D-man on the turn like Yossi? Yep. I don't really think we draft Yossi as early as we recommend him because of hits. It's just because of he's pretty much a forward playing in the D spot, so he can easily get you 80 points, which not a lot of D can, and he shoots a ton as well. So I would be fine with that even in a league without hits. All right, Muiz goes Matthews Forsberg in the second round. So Philip Forsberg goes. Will be very interesting to see what kind of season he puts together with the added talent in Nashville, and just in general what kind of team Nashville can put together this year. They on paper they added a ton of good guys, but we don't know how those guys are going to mesh, how they're going to blend together, and if kind of the Stamkos sniper play style is going to blend well with the Marchessault sniper play style. So we'll have to see there. All right, so Formanton does take a D. He goes Hedman at 210. We have seen Hedman go in the third round a little bit, but no issues with him there. The D have gone off the board, so we're into that kind of third tier now of D with the Dobsons, the Uyghurs, and I expect those guys to probably go in round 3, especially to those teams that do not have a D yet. All right, right around 100 viewers in concurrently. Don't forget to drop a like and obviously follow if you're not following us. We're gonna still be posting and pumping out content all year throughout the fantasy hockey season, so you do not want to miss it. Appreciate all the likes and all the follows. Street Shark, my top 3: Kucherov, Boucher, which I assume is Bouchard, and Dahlin. That's a pretty good top 3. If you can get those 2 stud D-men, you're in a good spot. Do you think Georgiev is a bust or gets replaced this year? Took him 6th round. 6 is probably the earliest I would want to take him. I think I took Sorokin in my FPPL draft the other day in the 6th round, and even though he's hurt, I would still prioritize him over Georgiev. Just because he's got a Noonan that's kind of coming up from the depths, and their coach Bednar actually already commented and pretty much came out and said a Noonan's going to get some more play time. So Georgiev kind of struggled a little bit. The win column wouldn't tell you that because he was on a really good team, but he had like a sub 900 save percentage, and Colorado will not be able to keep those wins coming if that save percentage continues. So we might be looking at closer to like 60-40 on Geo and a Newton this year. All right, so Natural Born Kellers, he goes Timo Meyer at 211, which is a little bit early for him. We are still talking about a guy who was like a minus 28 and struggled in the first half of last year, so I want a little bit of a safer pick in the second round, but we do like him for his peripherals and FPPL, as you can see in the bottom of the screen. We do have hits, blocks, which are worth quite a little bit. Mitch Marner goes 212 to Venture, so he goes McDavid, Marner, and then Hyman at the turn. So he goes with the Edmonton stack, the Edmonton PP1 stack. So another 50 goal year for Hyman is obviously going to reap the rewards for McDavid as well. So J. Rob goes back to Natural Born Kellers at 3-2. And then we see Formanton go with Adam Fox. So he's kind of at the very bottom tier too, in my opinion, in fantasy. Does not contribute a ton shot on goal, hit, and block wise, but still a very solid 70-point kind of defenseman. Will be PP1 on a very good power play 1. So Formanton is the first team with 2D. So he goes Hedman, Fox. And then we see Eichel go 3-4. That's also a little bit early for me on Eichel, just given his injury concern and the fact that he's a pure C. So Muiz actually has 2 pure C's now with Matthews and Eichel, but those are very good players. And, Eichel's a point per game player. Top G goes Steven Stamkos at 3-5, and then we see Dobson go to Utah. So he's the second team with 2D. We see him take Makar and Dobson. I like Dobson there in the third round, mid-third, perfectly fine for him. We had kind of an inside joke in our FP kind of group chat last year that the Islanders don't score a ton, but it seemed like every goal Dobson was involved in. I'm pretty sure he had a very high kind of point share amongst the Islanders last year. He always seemed to be involved in the goals, which is a good thing. First 3 picks: McDusty, Dahlin, and J. Rob. Russell, those are pretty good picks. I'm totally okay with that. J. Rob, third round, is is totally fine. Do you think Swayman gets signed or traded? I think he's going to get signed by Boston. Whether or not he gets traded after that or even before he gets signed is another question. I don't think Boston is prepared to lose Allmark and Swayman in the same offseason, so I can't imagine them letting that go and kind of just ending things on their dynasty that they've kind of built with like the veterans like Marchand, Pasternak. So I can't see them getting rid of him. Goalie question. Urson's available. I'm running three goalies. Binnington, Kemper, and Wolf. Should I keep who I have or switch one out? I would keep those three. I'm a big fan of those. If you were going to take anyone out, it would be Wolf for Urson, but I think Wolf's opportunity is a little bit better than Urson's. So I'm a kind of a fan on Wolf. I'm a little bit higher on him than most, but I'm totally fine with him as your third goalie. And you have two competent ones in Binnington and Kemper, who FP loves. All the goalies flew in my draft. I got Cooch and traded for 6Ks. Okay, so Kochkov and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen for Russell. Those are fine. I tried to do the Freddie Anderson and Kochkov stack in the FPPL, and I went Anderson, and I was going to pick Kochkov about 3 picks later at my next pick, and someone stole him from me right after. So I wasn't able to get the combo in Carolina, but having one of those guys, assuming they go 50-50, is going to get you a good handful of wins. All right, so Rocky takes Tage Thompson at 3-7 after the Dobson pick, and then we see Morrissey go to Ryan. So he grabs his first D in Josh Morrissey. Not my favorite fantasy D, kind of similar to Fox, where he doesn't quite do enough hits and blocks wise, but he's a PP1 D. Again, 70 points is kind of what you're looking for out of him. What the puck? He goes Braden Point. And then we see our first goalie go off the board to Flying Camels. So he went banger heavy and then took Shesterkin at 310. So that's the first goalie and kind of around where we've been seeing the first goalies go. Dougie Hamilton goes to Western Valley Panthers as his first D. I'm totally okay with that. I'm a big fan of Dougie, even when Luke Hughes is here. And then we see Curtis go back-to-back centers, Sebastian Aho and Timmy Stu. So Stutzel, I think, has C and wing eligibility, so he can definitely play Stu there. And also, we're hoping for a bounce back from Stutzel. He's got to shoot a little bit more for my liking, but hoping for a bounce back. Hopefully the 25-30 goal range is doable. Western Valley takes Svechnikov at 4-2, and we're off to the races in the fourth round. Hope everyone's having a good night. As I was saying at the beginning of the draft, we got back-to-back tonight. We got the Div 4 Northwest at 7, which was on the screen now. And then we got the Creators League that FP Chris is going to host at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So don't go anywhere. We'll end this stream and then start a new one closer to 9. But stay close to your phone or your computer, whatever you're watching on, because we're going to be having fantasy content all night long. Surprise Point is still available. I'm assuming you said that before he went, but yep. Just the center, pure center. They kind of tend to go a little bit later than they would go if they had winger eligibility. Even though he's kind of a safe 90-point bet. Point is so good. I agree. He's a great 1C, good playoff performer. So I assume he will lead Tampa to another playoff clinching season. I tried getting Freddie, but Bro is asking for way too much. Yeah, that's fine. Just let him keep Freddie. There's plenty of other split goalies out there, or goalies that'll even get more of a start share just on a little bit of a weaker team. But that's totally fine if you only have Kochkov. Good luck with Point. He should have went where Timo went. I don't know about that early, but I'm totally okay with Point in the third round. I probably wouldn't take him in the second, especially if I had a pick like McKinnon. And then I would have to be CC to start. So I'm good with him in the third. Banking on Timo to bounce back, got him in the fourth, and want Timmy Stu in the fifth. Yeah, that's a good plan. Totally okay with Timo in the fourth. Stu, you're about 2 rounds early on Timo here, and then 1 round early on Stu. They both went a little bit earlier than that, but this is the FPPL, so I got to assume guys are a little bit, I guess, more in the know-how on fantasy than maybe your kind of league at home is with your buddies or with your colleagues. Snag Natchez at 111 in my draft. Do you think he's a good bounce back candidate? And any thoughts, Frosty Canadian? Thanks for the question. I like Natchez. FB Chris is really big on him. I know he likes him a lot, so we do kind of all share that thought. Good power play one player on a really good team, as I was mentioning earlier, because someone mentioned Natchez, so totally okay with him. And in the 11th round is obviously fine too. All right, so we see Camel State Gensel at 4-3. I like that pick a lot. He could easily return kind of second or third round value. Crosby goes to What the Puck, so he's got 3 C's now. Brady can play the wing, but 3 guys who can play C. He goes with the veteran, reliable Crosby. Ryan takes Kyle Connor at 4-5, followed by Ovi at 4-6. So 2 similar players who shoot a lot go back to back. Maurice Sider goes to Utah. So he's got 3D now, kind of going with the dip strategy. If you're watching Division 1 the other night, hosted by Mike, Dip, one of our mods in the Discord as well. He went very D heavy to start, and I think it turned out well for him. I like his team. So Utah's gone McCarr, Dobson, and Sider. So the D is definitely covered for him. He can wait and kind of grab those forwards that are falling in the next few rounds. Kreider goes after Sider at 4-8. Then Reinhardt goes at 4-9. So possibly a regression candidate with Reinhardt, but though that third, fourth round is where he's going to be going. He's still going to hit 35 goals this year on a really good team. His line, he goes Barkov at 4-10. And then McAvoy goes to Natural Born Kellers. So he takes his first D with McAvoy, which is very good. Totally okay with that. Hellebuck goes at the turn to Venture at 4-12. So that's the final pick of the 4th round and the second goalie off the board. Looking at the teams so far, we have Moise that does not have a D yet. Venture, unless he takes a D here, does not have a D yet. And then Flying Camels does not have a D. Okay, so Venture goes, wow, he goes 2 goalies, 2 very good goalies, probably top 3 fantasy goalies with Hellebuck and Saros at the turn. So he is completely ignoring the punt G, the 0G strategy. I'm okay with that. Those are good goalies to have, so he won't have to probably sweat about streaming a goalie or picking up a goalie one week. He's got that covered. Uyghur goes 5-2. Okay with him there. I like the 5th round for Uyghur. And Natural Born Keller has gone back-to-back D, so he is, after not going D in the first 3 rounds, he's really shored that position up. All right. After the Uyghur pick, we see Formanton take Jesper Bratt at 5-3. Not too sure what I think about Bratt right now. He doesn't score enough for me. You kind of see his numbers at the top there. What he's projected, what he did last year. He's more of an assist guy, with goals being a little bit more valuable. I think I would rather take a shooter or a defenseman this round as opposed to Bratt. But he's going to be probably around a point per game. That 80 kind of point season might be his ceiling, especially with so many mouths to feed on New Jersey. Let's see what the chat's saying. Incarnate, what the puck's off to a strong start. Brady, Darlene, Point, Crosby. I agree. A little too many centers for my liking in the 4th round. That's kind of a position I like to fade a little bit, but he's gotten really some safe picks there, so I agree. It's a good start. Timo equals overrated by this guy. Yeah, I could see that. He's a little bit too high at 211 for me, but he's still a good player, good category coverage. So even if he kind of slumps again like he did last year, he still shoots a decent amount, still hits, and will give you that coverage there. My friend Jeremy thinks that Martin Jones is the best fantasy goalie of all time. Thoughts? I would agree. Your friend Jeremy seems like a really smart hockey mind. Martin Jones probably goalie 5 off the board maybe this draft. We'll see. Uh, yeah, I found myself reaching on guys in the FPPL draft, but had no choice. Everything, yeah, I agree. When you kind of share the same content as everybody, you're going to kind of like the same players. That's kind of an issue that myself and the other 3 FPPL guys, Mike, Chris, and Sven, when we do our own leagues amongst each other and some of our friends, we all like the same guys. We don't really trade with each other much because we all have the same kind of opinions and thoughts. So it's kind of more of a draft and wait league in our leagues. But yeah, when you kind of share that content with everybody, that's gonna happen. Lost ones. Grab Timo at 58. Think he can get back to San Jose form. Hopefully not. Hopefully not sure he should go in the top 24 though. I agree, Frosty. 58th is perfect for him. I'm not sure if he'll get the same kind of freedom he had in San Jose to kind of play the big minutes he was playing and the kind of usage he was getting, and also being one of the guys that like the puck goes through. That's might be more of a Dougie or a Jack Hughes thing in or in New Jersey. Sorry, but yeah, he's just got to shoot the puck, and the results are going to come. How many of each position are drafted in this league? I believe it's 17 picks. It's kind of standard Yahoo format. Two C's, two left, two right, 4D, and a utility, I believe. So that is what the FPPL makeup is. 17 picks, though, all in all, Anthony. I don't know how I feel about Cider over Uyghur. I mean, they kind of offer the same kind of thing. It's not they're not that far apart from each other. We're only talking about 5-6 picks. Cider probably a little bit safer in terms of what you're going to get peripheral wise. I do like Uyghur a little bit better just because he's got the PP1 potential where Detroit seems to not be willing to play Cider on PP1. They like Eric Gustafson there, who I bet you we're going to see go in this draft later on. But yeah, that's kind of why I like Uyghur a little bit better. Even though he's not going to score 20 again, he's still a very solid category covering D. All right, let me get caught up with these picks. Speaking of Uyghur, we saw him go to Keller at 5-2 at the start of the fifth. Then we saw Bratt go. John Carlson, who I grabbed as my first D. I kind of was forced to. Didn't really like some of the D going in the third and fourth round in my pick, in my draft, so I had to pick Carlson. And then I also took Matheson, who went to Rocky. In between those two picks was Ottinger, so our fourth goalie off the board, which is totally good for Ottinger. And then Wyatt Johnson. So a couple of these fifth round picks are guys that I really targeted in my league, and I grabbed also. Mika Zibanejad goes 5'8". I know Mike grabbed him in the FPPL draft I was in with him, so he's a big Mika fan. Really safe power play point guy. And then we see a couple D go to end the fifth. Sergachev, who is likely going to QB power play 1 in Utah. Miro Heiskanen, who I actually don't mind. He was good hit volume a couple years ago. Kind of tailed off a little bit, as did his peripheral coverage for fantasy, but he's one of the smoothest skating defensemen. One of the best defensemen probably in the league. He just doesn't always show that in fantasy. Kempe goes at 5'11", which is great. He's a good bangers target as well. He offers some good shot on goal and hit upside. Montour goes to end the fifth. A little early for Montour. I know he had really good seasons in Florida and playoffs in Florida, but Seattle looks to be going with a 1A, 1-2, 1A, 1B power play, and Dunn, as of right now, was slated on power play 1A. So Montour's on the 1B. That could obviously change. I think Montour's probably a little bit better offensively than Dunn is, but they might have just kind of had success with Dunn in the past, given it back to him, and kind of play yourself out of that role if you're going to. So Bedard starts the sixth round, followed by Vass at 6'2". So he's the fifth goalie off the board. Verhage goes to Flying Camels. I like that pick in the sixth round. He's in a contract year, so I always kind of like that as kind of an intangible when I'm drafting a player. Contract year, a little bit more emphasis and pressure on them to perform and put up career highs. So I like those kind of little tidbits. Matt Boldy goes 6'4". I did see he was progressing well. I know he's listed as out right now. Markstrom goes 6'5", so that's kind of the second or third tier, however you want to think about it for the goalies. But new start for Markstrom, fresh team, probably a better team than he was on. And he's a really reliable goalie, too. Just got to stay healthy. Caulfield goes 6'6", followed by Keller at 6'7". Morgan Riley goes at 6'8", so you're really banking on the power play points with Riley. Werenski goes 6'9". If he can stay healthy, he could finish as like a top 7 or 8 fantasy defenseman. Werenski, that is. He's got to stay healthy. He eats minutes, plays 25 minutes a night for that team. Power play specialist, shoots the puck a ton. So we saw some really good single games from Werenski last year. He just has trouble staying healthy and has kind of his whole career. Bob goes 6'10". I still like Bob this year. We've got really no reason to not like him except for his age, but we've seen plenty of goalies perform at the age he is, and even later. So until he gives me a reason to not like him, maybe a struggling first half or something, I'm still fine with Bob in the fifth to like 6-7 rounds, even if he was your G1, which it is for Formanton. FP favorite Tippett, sixth round, 11th, sixth round, 11th pick. No longer the kind of gem and late round gem he was last year, but still a good pick. Covers a lot of categories. And speaking of covering categories, we got Jeek goes 6'12" at the turn to venture. Let's see what some of these comments saying. Martin Jones, yeah, I'm big Martin Jones fan too. He is the goat. Kind of panicked with the Timo pick because D flew fast. Yep, that's fine. I probably would have gone Hyman over Meyer, even J Rob over Meyer, and Marner, but that's totally fine. I get the D went quick there. We saw 5 go in a span of 10 picks, so no worries there, Keller. Uh, Best players for leagues with face-offs 0.2, hits and blocks 0.5. All right, so face-offs for Mr. Cena, WWE John. Face-offs aren't too valuable, but you want to take advantage of the free points. So definitely target centers that also have left wing and right wing eligibility. So wingers that take draw. On the screen right now is Seth Jarvis, so he is an example of that has dual eligibility, and then you kind of get those free face-off points even when they're slotted into your wing position. So that's what I recommend for any face-off leagues. Take those wingers that have C eligibility. Praying nobody in my league finds you guys and steals my ideas. Yeah, Sean, that's fine if you want to wait for your draft to finish, but then share the FP channel with your friends. We would appreciate the extra followers, the extra subs. So I know it's kind of a bittersweet finding of FP. Good to see you live stream. Good to see you in here, Wicked. The GOAT. Do a great job. It was an awesome draft on Sunday. Who is in the Creators League this year? Yeah, we're doing the Creators League. I see All Things Hockey asked that right after as well. Creators League's at 9 p.m. tonight, so FP Chris is going to stream that. We're going to end this stream after the draft and then start the new one up at 9. So myself and FP Chris are going to be drafting that along with 10 other kind of fantasy hockey creators that you probably recognize on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. So definitely tune in for that. Crazy Gaming asks Cousins, Norris, or Zaka. I will say Norris. I think he's skating again. He should be playing tonight. So I like Norris this year. Cousins would be my second pick. Zaka, I've kind of lost interest in now that Elias Lindholm is the 1C in Boston. But Norris is one of my guys I like. I don't really need to draft him anywhere because he's available on the wire, but that's who I would be picking. Did a draft for my league, $100 league last night, and I was surprised by the winger depth in my league. In retrospect, going pure C early would have been fine. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of wingers because that's like a heavy position. There's 2 winger positions. I don't know if you have right wing and left wing ink or nid, but I find right wing thins out a little bit more than left wing does. All right, so at the turn, we saw Venture go kind of 2 peripheral heavy guys with Eric Sinek and Travis Konechny. If this was a PIMS league, I would love Travis Konechny even more because he's good for a couple game misconduct, 10-minute penalties, maybe like once a month. So I'm fine with the TK pick at 7. He does not have a D yet. I've noticed that about Venture, so I think he's the only team now without a D. That might be a little bit concerning, but there's still guys like I was going to say Jake Sanderson, but he did go this same round. So we still have guys like Letang still available. A couple other guys that kind of give you those peripheral categories like Truba, Rasmus Anderson, a couple guys that I actually took late in my draft as well. So we see Keller go Jarvis. Trocheck goes right around Jeek as normal. So Trocheck and Joel Eriksson, very similar players. Both FP favorites and have been for many years. Matt Barzell goes 7-4. Dylan Larkin 7-5. Stuart Skinner goes 7-6, who I like. Probably would have even taken him over Bobrovsky and maybe Markstrom. Just because you got that win upside. Very minimal competition. I think Calvin Pickard is really the backup there. Not really threatening in my opinion. Jake Sanderson, Devin Tays, and Brock Faber make up a little bit of a D run here in the 7th round. So a couple guys, Rocky, Ryan, and What the Puck, grabbing some third and second D each of them. Ryan has Morrissey and Tays as his D1 and 2. Not a huge fan of that. Little bit of work to do on defense, but there's always value to be found. He might be looking at someone like Brant Clark, who we see go in the FPPL drafts now. Maybe a little bit too early, just because he doesn't offer much peripheral upside, but we do see him go. I'm going to predict he's going probably, I'll say like round 11 or 12. Batherson goes to Flying Camels at 7-10. That's totally cool. Eric Carlson, 7-11. I've heard some good news from their coach that thinks Eric Carlson's going to be fine and he won't actually need very many reps to get up to game speed in the regular season. So that's promising. In as insurance, if I was the Eric Carlson drafter, Western Valley, I'd be looking at someone like Letang, just so I know I have the PP1 on Pittsburgh covered. DeBrincat goes 7-12. I like that pick a lot by Curtis. And then he goes Sorokin at 8-1. I also am good with that in the 8th round. That's his first goalie. So we have a couple teams here going no goalie so far, especially some of the early drafters here. But the 0G goalie works for some, others don't like it, and others like it, but the goalies fall too far for them to ignore. So we saw that in a couple other FPPL drafts. Nugent Hopkins goes 8-2. I took him. Good PP point upside. Gonna probably play with McDavid, and you can't pass that up. Hannafin, Fiala, Demko goes to Ryan, so he goes with his second goalie. He's got Markstrom and Demko. Demko's gonna be a little bit riskier. Not sure if he's gonna start the year on the IR, or maybe they're gonna run 3 goalies. But I'm a little hesitant on Demko, especially before round 10. Elias Lindholm goes to Rocky, so he grabs a third center. Power play 1C in Boston. Anyone on past his line, I would be okay with taking and banking on getting some free points. Utah takes Seth Jones as his 4th D, so he's got 4D now, really strong D core. Gustav Forsling goes to top G. Forsling was a guy that FP really liked in previous years. Not so much this year, just because he doesn't seem to be getting any power play talk. It seems to be Ekblad, back to Boqvist, back to Ekblad. So I think they kind of like Forsling to kind of be a cider like player, play big minutes, 25 minutes a night. He gets you some pretty good category coverage, but nothing outstanding. 8th round is okay for him. A little bit earlier than I would have taken. I really like the Seth Jones pick, just one pick before. Nico Hischier goes 9 to Moise, so he's got lots of centers now. Interesting to see how New Jersey always plays their centers, but they have 2 really good ones in Hischier and Hughes, and sometimes they kind of almost take production from the other one. Valley is best after 5 rounds, in my opinion, Jeff. D getting thin, though. I agree, D's getting thin. We just saw Forsling go round 8, so classic FP draft. Let's take a look at what team did you say? Sorry, Valley. So he was picking at the 11th spot. Hughes, Kaprizov, Dougie, Svetch, Carlson. Yeah, I like a little bit more D. So as you said, the D is thinning out. But the other forward positions, lots of good banger coverage with Kempe, Svetch. So yeah, he's looking good right now. I agree. Ryan's rad team looking weak. Pat not holding back on Ryan. I agree. There's a little bit of concern there with the goalie picks and the D picks, but lots of time to recover. We still got half the draft left. Weegar losing PP1 to Barry Anderson sometime this season. Yeah, Barry I could see taking over just because I feel like that's why you get him on a PTO is to kind of QB your power play. We saw him have success in Edmonton doing that. Anderson, I'm not sure about. I feel like if Weegar were to struggle, he's still more of an offensive defenseman than Anderson is. So yes, Barry I could see taking over Sean, but maybe not Anderson. Anderson I like picking just for his hits and blocks. Michael Paul says got offered Ovi for Lindholm in Cats League. That includes both hits and faceoff wins. Yes, I would take Ovi for Lindholm. That is a safer pick. And Ovi, he's going ahead of him ADP wise. I would take that. Would you trade Keller for Larkin? I would prefer I would prefer Keller. He's got dual winger eligibility, similar point ceiling, I would say, to Larkin, and Larkin's a pure C, so I prefer Keller. I got Darlene, Matheson, Hannafin, then Hudson. I'm trying to get John Carlson. That's a good idea. Russell, if you can replace Hudson temporarily with Carlson. Hudson's kind of a guy I would draft as like a fourth or fifth D, as you did, but not really bank on him producing at a good fantasy level right off the bat. He still needs to get PP1. League counts, wins, goals against, shutouts, saves. Which two would you go with? Kochkov, Montembeau, Hill, and Seelovs. I'll go Kochkov and Hill. Montembeau, bad team. Also probably going to split with Caden Primo, who had a very good end to the year last year. So not really too big on Monty. Seelovs, also not really sure what the Vancouver goalie situation is. My guess is he's going to start game one of the season, but don't know what the status of Demko will be. And then they also have Lankinen. So Koch, Hill are my picks. Vash had the same surgery last year that I needed to get next month. Herniated disc in my spine. All right. Obviously, I hope you have a good surgery, Street Shark. Hope everything goes well as it should. And yeah, I'll be hope to see you commenting after the surgery. Hope everything goes well. Ray Donovan, All Cats keeper. Rather keep Boldy or Stu keep forever league. Oh, that's tough. All Cats. I'm gonna probably say Boldy. I like him long term a little bit more. Stu doesn't shoot enough for me right now. Doesn't score because of that as much as he should be. He does give you the hit upside that Boldy doesn't, but I like Boldy. Witzer, sorry, when is that draft? Creators League draft, I assume you're talking about. That'll be 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So about an hour and a half from now. All right, back to the picks. We saw Nico go. Lucas Raymond goes to Formanton at 8:10. Chris Letang. So I was mentioning Letang earlier that I would like to take him if I was taking Carlson. Keller steals him at 8:11. Totally okay with him there. He offers still good bangers upside. That's his third D. He's got really safe and solid decor. McAvoy, Uyghur, and Letang. I like that a lot. Ventures goes two guys I'm pretty big on this year, JT and Kairu. John Tavares getting slept on a little bit just because he's getting up there in age and, slowing down a little bit. That shouldn't really affect his game. He's a big net front presence guy. Great face-off guy. They're still going to play him 18 minutes a night kind of thing. I don't buy into the 3C role for JT. He's too good to be playing 3C. Also had a career high in hits last year at his age, so he's not slowing down. Kairu, big fan of too. 40 goal candidate, I think. Mentioned that on a stream I did earlier. He could score 40. Blues could really make a playoff run this year. I'm not sleeping on them. Then we see Kochikov go. Darcy Kemper in the 9th round to Formanton. That's a really good pick. So he's got Bob and Kemper as his goalies. Those are really, really good. I like that combo in the 6th and 9th round. Natural Born Kellers, he took his first goalie at Kochikov. I don't want to spoil it, but I think he might be trying to do what with his goalies. That's his first goalie. We see Muiz does not have a goalie. He went Hagel, so banking on Hagel, hopefully having another 30-goal year, maybe PP1. Things, I'm hearing some mixed reviews so far, but he's a good player, so I'm okay with that. Slavkowski goes 9-5. Tuck goes 9-6. A little early for Tuck. I'm not too big on him in the 9th round. That's kind of like an 11-12 guy for me. But I think Utah probably needed some right wingers. He doesn't have any primary right wingers, so he probably wanted to cover that position. We have seen Tuck going a little bit early in these 8th, 9th, and 10th rounds because of that reason. Hill goes 9-7 to Rocky, so that's his first goalie too. We also might be seeing some stacks here, which I'm okay with, especially for good teams. Ryan's rad team, he goes with Rupe Hintz at 9-8. Georgiev goes 9-9 to What the Puck. So we see those guys that hadn't been taking goalies take goalies. I'm pretty sure everyone has taken goalies. I don't want to keep scrolling up and flipping back and forth, so I will check in a sec, but I'm pretty sure everyone has a goalie now, except Venture. Nope, he does. I lied. Flying Camels goes Natchez, so a couple people were asking about him earlier in the stream. That's a fine pick at 9-10. Gostisbehere goes 9-11, so the PP1 defenseman on Carolina goes 9-11. That's Western's third D, so he's going for those PP1 offensive defensemen, not a ton of bangers and Perif's coverage from his D, but he's got that from Svech, Kempe, from a couple forwards. Marchessault goes 9-12 to Curtis. Lafreniere goes 10-1, also to Curtis on the turn. Then we see Nick Suzuki go. Jake DeBrusk goes round 10. That's a little bit early for me. Not huge on DeBrusk in the 10th round. We have to see kind of what he can do still. I don't think he's broken out yet. We probably need to see a little bit more from him before I'm taking him in drafts. But we see Besser go at 10-4 right after DeBrusk. I probably would have taken Besser over DeBrusk. I'm not huge on either. I think Vancouver overperformed a little bit last year, but they're still kind of a playoff bound team, I think. So I would have gone Besser over DeBrusk, but that's my opinion. Marchand, 10-5. That's fine for Marchand. He's getting up there in age. Also, I believe a contract year for him. My friend Jeremy offered someone Pasta and Rantanen for Panarin and Kyle Connor. Hockey trade or idiot move? Pasta and Rantanen side by far. That's 2 first rounders for a second rounder and a third or fourth rounder. I don't know why you would offer that. Pasta Rantanen side by a mile. That's Ashton asking that and claiming that it's his friend. If it's you, you can admit it, Ashton. It's all right. The fake Nate says, is Brady Bouchard Kreider good for the first 3 rounds? 16-man league with 8th pick. In a 16-man league, yeah, that's totally fine. I was going to say Kreider, 3rd round is a little bit early, but in a 16-man league, that's a good start. Points league, Chikrin or Falk. Oh, that's tough. Is it Falk, Justin Falk, the FALK version or the FAULK version? I'm assuming it's the St. Louis PP1. I will say points league. I will say Falk. I think he's going to cover more categories than Chikrin will. I started a keeper league this year and took Bedard at number 3. Am I crazy? Jado, if it's a keeper league and you can keep guys forever and there's no keeper limit, Bedard at 3 is totally fine. You have him for life, hopefully. Dostal or Urson as G3. Points. I think Urson is probably the better season-long goalie. He should probably see the majority of starts in Philly. Dostal is a good maybe October, November goalie, given that Gibson's hurt right now. I think Philly's better than Anaheim as well. I'd probably take Urson. Long term, I just jumped in. Hard to see what round we're on. Sorry, I blind done. Doom. I've been flipping around a little bit. I've hopefully have stopped in the past few minutes since I've been chatting. Rate my defenseman: Quinn, Hedman, Hannafin, Ghost. That's pretty good. Defense. Hopefully Hannafin holds PP1 for you for the whole year. That would probably solidify that. I will give it like a 8 out of 10. Quinn Hughes hopefully has a similar season to what he did last year, where he was shooting a lot more. That kind of made him a little bit better of a fantasy defenseman. His point production, we know what he can do, 80, 90 points probably. So that's pretty good. Hedman offers the bangers coverage, but all 4 PP1, so that's what you like to see. All right, getting back to the draft. Swayman goes 10-6. So Rocky went with Aiden Hill. I thought he was going to take Samsonov and probably go with the stack, but he goes Swayman in between, and that's totally fine. He's going to play this year at some point. He might have a Willie Nylander-like holdout where it maybe gets into November, December timeframe, but you're going to get some play out of Swayman. There's no chance. I don't believe he holds out the whole year. So you just have to make sure you get a third goalie, Rocky. Bo Horvat, 10-7, 30-goal floor, pretty safe for Horvat. Islanders don't score a ton, but Horvat is safe, as I was mentioning. And that is the third center for the Soakers. Then we see a little bit of a D run here. So we see Shea Theodore go, Jacob Chikrin, Vince Dunn, who as of now is penciled into PP1A on Seattle. So I like him in the 10th round there. I don't want to scroll back up and see how many D Formanton has, but totally okay as like a number 3D. Vince Dunn, that is. Cam York goes 10-11 after Dunn. Then Nurse goes. Petrangelo goes. So Venture really wanted to cover some periffs, the hits and blocks. Grabs Nurse and Petro. I'm a big fan of Petro. I think you can get him at really good value. He does enough across the board to finish kind of as round 7, 8 value rather than 11. So I like that pick for Venture. He's just got to stay healthy. Okay, so Natural Born Keller, I'm glad I didn't ruin it for him. He did what I tried to do in the FPPL and go with the Carolina goalie stack. So he gets Kochikov and Freddie. So good job, Keller, on that. If I'm doing a stack, I always like to take 3 goalies, just because you can't have both guys starting on the same night, right? So it's only on one team. Maybe someone like Dustin Wolf, Dostal, as someone brought up, even some of those guys like Seelovs, Samsonov, kind of guys that might split time. I would make sure to get a third goalie if I'm doing a goalie tandem like that. Frankie V goes to Formanton. I'm a Frankie V fan. Probably overperformed a little bit last year, but hey, if he gets the 18 minutes he was getting before, the play time is still achievable. Joe Wall goes at 11-4. Nick Ehlers goes 11-5. Justin Falk goes 11-6. So that's PP1 defenseman right now in St. Louis. I like Falk. He covers categories, so in the 11th round, that's totally fine. Jared McCann goes 11-7. Again, a guy that's being slept on, A, because of his position, and B, because he had a down year last year and he still had 30 goals. So we've seen him bury 40. If Seattle has anything close to what they had in their first year, he could score 40 again this year, right? So he gets slept on a lot. Similar to Horvat, just kind of a boring team, I guess. They roll their lines. They don't have like an elite top 6 or anything. So McCann, that's a good pick by Rocky. I like that. And then Nelson, almost the exact same. I should have used him as an example instead of Horvat. I'm a big fan of Nelson. 250 shot minimum. He puts the puck in the net with the best of them. 35 goals kind of thing. So Islanders, again, not much offense to pick from there, but there's lots of value late in the draft from them. JJ Paterka goes 11-9, so he's been a very talked about and not so much controversial, but controversial player this year because there's some mixed reviews and mixed opinions on him. Some people are like, "Whoa, why are you recommending him so much? Why is he being drafted so high?" But he was a very good 5-on-5 player last year. Buffalo is hoping to improve this year. They made some changes to their team. Skinner isn't there anymore, so that kind of leads us to believe Paterka's due for a step forward as well. Back-to-back goalies, we see Flying Camels take Allmark in the 11th at 11-10, and then Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen goes 11-11. So that was Flying Camel's second goalie, and that was Western Valley Panthers' second goalie as well. So they grabbed their 2Gs. That's good to see. At the turn, we got Thomas Harley going to Curtis's team, and then he goes Patrick Kane at 12. Harley is kind of the offensive version of Montour, right? So, or not Montour, sorry, of Uyghur. Shoots the puck a ton. Probably had a little bit of inflated goal total last year. That might not repeat this year, especially if he's not PP1. But taking a handcuff D like that, that still gives you some really good offensive value, and time on ice is not an issue. Rob Thomas goes 12-2 to Western Valley, so he grabs another center, another guy that could, put up 80, 90 points this year. I saw someone on Twitter just today, the NHL tweeted out asking people to make a bold prediction for 100 points, and someone said Thomas, and I actually had to think. I was like, it's a pretty good pick, to be honest. So it could happen. I'm a little bit higher on St. Louis than I think a lot of people are this year. I hope I don't have to eat my words, but I like Thomas in the 12th round. I think I said it earlier. Someone can fact check me when they watch this back, maybe tonight or tomorrow. Brant Clark in the 12th round goes to Flying Camels. He is really banking on PP1 from Brant Clark and the PP production to occur. He hasn't really done much otherwise in the NHL. He's performed at every level, so he's performed all the way back to his minor midget years if you look at him up on Elite Prospects. So I like Clark. I would have just rather have taken him like around here in the 15 to 17 range, but he might not have been available there. So Dylan Genther goes. He went really early last or in my draft in the FPPL Div 2 West. Good to see him going back kind of close to where he should be in the 12th. Brent Burns goes 12-5. That's really similar to Harley, where you're getting good offensive upside from a kind of a handcuff defenseman guy that's not PP1 right now, but very easily could take it over with some strong play or an injury to Goss Despair. Corpusalo goes to Rocky, so that's a good move by him. He's got both Boston goalies. Have not seen the Boston tandem being taken together very much at all, so that's pretty interesting. He has some security if Swayman does sign, and he has some security if Swayman doesn't sign. Binnington at 12-7. That's totally fine for a number 2 goalie. I also like that combo of Skinner and Binner. I would probably pick up a third goalie as well, just because we don't know what Joel Hofer could do in St. Louis. Tom Wilson goes, so Top G gets his hit coverage right there. And Michkov, this has been another controversial player. We see a lot of people really high on him. He's having a really good preseason. I'm sure all of you have seen some highlights of him. He looks really good right now, so I like Michkov. He's going a little bit early for my liking and for what I like to take rookies at, but he could pan out 70 points. I think FP Chris just kind of predicted this year, so I actually like that. 70 points seems reasonable. He's got to be in Torts' good book, and he's got to get time on ice, which sometimes Philly does not give their good players. Just ask guys like Morgan Frost. Matt Zuccarello goes 12-10. That's some assist coverage, some power play point coverage, hoping that he plays alongside Kirill to kind of get you those free assists. Boone Jenner goes 12-11. I like that pick in a Bangers League, which we are. So great to see Jenner go. Hopefully he can stay healthy. He has really good per game numbers. He just also runs into injury troubles. Let's take a look at the chat. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Also, 95 viewers in here right now. We've had a couple hundred viewers pop in and out. Don't forget to leave a like. I appreciate it, and FP appreciates it, just helping us grow the brand and pump out more content for you guys. Let's see what's going on. Ashton for MVP GM. Forrest, yeah, we'll see. If Ashton has any more questions about his friend. I'm just teasing Ashton, don't worry. Always open to questions, whether it's for you or your buddies. Enjoying FP Don's commentary. Thank you, Wicked. Yes, leave a like. Appreciate it. Thoughts on Cam York this year? I like York. He kind of had a breakout year last year. He scored a quiet 10 goals for a defenseman last year on a not so good team. So I would be, I would expect 10 again from him, maybe 12 to 15 goals. If he gets PP1 for the season, even better. They like to throw some random guys on PP1, like Igor Zamula last year was stealing some time on ice from York on the power play. Don't expect that to continue this year. I think their power play is going to improve a little bit. And if York has it, then I like him as like a kind of D3 or 4. Thoughts on Joseph Wall? I like Wall. I think Stallers is being like overdrafted and overrated. Like they signed him for a 1-year deal. He's a backup. He's a little bit of security for Wall that if he gets hurt, they have a NHL ready goalie and not like a Hildeby that hasn't really shown much in the NHL. So I'm okay with Wall. If I'm taking Wall, I want probably another goalie, either a few rounds before him like Kemper or a few rounds after him. But Wall's fine. He's on a really good team, so he's just got to give us a healthy season. Do you like York more than Clark, even if Clark gets PP1? I do, yes, just because of the time on ice and because of what we've seen from York already. So Clark has not done much in the NHL yet. I still like Clark, but I'm solely taking him probably to put on my bench and hope that he gets some power play points when I need to start him. FP Mike, I think, said that a few days ago on a stream that Clark is not a guy you should be drafting and starting right away. He's a guy, put on the bench, see how he plays. He might be getting 14, 15 minutes again like he was last year, or maybe they might like him a lot and give him 20. It's just kind of a waiting game if you want to take that risk. Jack Hughes or Kaprizov, goals 5, assists 3, shots 0.5 redraft. I like Kaprizov better. Hughes, a little bit more of an injury risk. We haven't seen really a full season from him. When he's healthy, he's elite, but so is Kaprizov. So I would probably side with him a little bit. In a keeper, a different story though. I would maybe go with Hughes. All right, so we see Venture go Truba. So he went 3D, all kind of perif heavy. I guess that was kind of his plan, going 0D until the 10th round. So pretty interesting to see. Don't mind it. I did, I guess, a hybrid version of that where the D were flying off the board in my draft. I kind of had to take John Carlson, and make do with Truba as well. I also took Truba. If he plays, he's a really good hit and block machine. Venture also goes Kadri, who I see really rated high in a lot of projections. He's just, Calgary took a little bit of a step back, and he's a pure C. So if you have the room for him, great. He's a great pick in the teen rounds, but I wouldn't go higher than like 12, 13 on him at the very highest. Urson goes 13-2 to Natural Born Kellers. That's his third goalie. So he's got Kochkov, Freddie, and Urson, as I suggested, with going three goalies when you do the tandem. Mark Scheifele, who's fallen in a lot of drafts, goes to Formanton at 13-3. Then we see Ekblad go to Moise. So he's got Ekblad probably hoping he gets PP1 this year. Buchnevich goes 13-6. Rust goes 13-7. Terry, Cousins, Rasmus Anderson goes 13-10. So there's that name I was mentioning for the hits and blocks. Someone earlier in the chat said Anderson will take PP1 from Uyghur. We will see about that. If that happens, I wouldn't be that upset because I also have Anderson in FPPL, but I think Uyghur is the better OFD. Seelovs goes to Western Valley. Ekholm goes to Curtis. Not huge on the Ekholm pick, but he had a really good end to the year last year. Kind of was becoming fantasy relevant out of nowhere. So he was probably added by someone in your league towards the last month or two of the season. It helps when you play on a team like Edmonton. Everybody gets free points. All right, so we're getting into the lottery ticket picks a little bit. Varlamov goes 14-1. So to start the 14 round, taking Varlamov a little bit early for him. There hasn't been anything really too public about Sorokin to make me think he is going to be out for a while or even out for more than a couple games. But it's all right for insurance. It is his second goalie. Oh, okay, so he went Sorokin. Makes a little bit more sense. Took the tandem. So he kind of went with also the strategy that Rocky did, taking the two Boston goalies. He went two Islanders goalies. A little bit more understandable. Still a little bit early. You probably could have waited on Varlamov for another round or two, but I understand. Boqvist goes 14-2. So, that's a little bit better for where I would have taken Clark. Boqvist, kind of the same player. Haven't seen enough from him in the NHL. He's been hurt. He's been on bad teams. So, I would kind of be stashing him on my bench as well, Boqvist. Hudson goes 14-3. Flying Camels is hoping for Hudson to take PP1 from Matheson. I don't see a reason for that. I think Matheson's a very good offensive defenseman. Had 60 points last year on a bad team. So there's going to be either an injury need for Hudson to take that, or Matheson's going to have to play himself off of it. They also have a pretty young power play with like Caulfield. Maybe if we see Doc Slavkovsky on there, I can't imagine they're going to want a full team of youth on the power play. Like Matheson's probably in his early 30s right now. I want to say 31, 32. So they want that kind of veteran presence there. Connor Ingram goes 14-4. A lot of people high on Utah this year. I am kind of in the middle of the pack. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Still kind of a little bit boring for me. They need some of their draft picks to start performing a little bit more, aside from Dylan Genther. Barrett Hayton has been a prospect for how long? Hasn't really done much. Keller's all right, but other than that, we're kind of getting into, like, we're not getting into fantasy relevant forwards anymore. So, as I say that, we have Kraus go. That's solely a bangers pick. You're looking at maybe 20 goals. Fantilli goes 14-6. Sharon Govich goes 14-7. He's power play 1 in Calgary, so I'm okay with that. Believe he also has the dual eligibility. I could be wrong, but I believe he has dual center and left wing. Velarde goes 14-8, so he is also power play 1 in Winnipeg. I like that pick in the 14th round. We also see a couple stashes go here with Muiz and then Formanton. So Muiz takes Nichushkin to put on his IR until November, and Doughty on Formanton's IR until to be determined. So probably a couple months, maybe Christmas time for Doughty, and then it's just going to be about him getting back up to speed, trying to get back to that 25 minutes a night that he was playing. Byfield goes 14-11 to Natural Born Kellers, and then we have back-to-back D by Venture, goes Shabbat and Dursey. So he has really loaded up on late round D. He ignored the D going early and has gotten 5 pretty solid D. So Shabbat, Dursey, kind of some lottery tickets, hoping that they take over PP1. But I was mentioning them earlier with like Burns. All you need is an injury, and it's gonna look out. It's gonna turn out to be a very good pick for you. So Lekkonen goes to Natural Born Keller, so that's another IR stash. Brady Shea goes 15-3. That's another handcuff pick if anything were to happen to Yossi. He also is a very good goal scoring defenseman. I think he's had some seasons with like 15 to 20 goals. He shoots the puck a lot. It's not going to be as much now that he's kind of behind Yossi in the depth chart and not on PP1 at all. But he's still going to get his fair share of shots on Nashville, who's looking good this year. Toffoli goes 15-4 to Muiz. That's a reasonable pick. Not too sure what to think about San Jose this year. If I was going to take anyone from that team, it would probably be Toffoli. So that's solid. All right, section 111, row 4. What are you saying for the first round? Would you rather have Cooch, Dry, Pasta, Rant, Makar in those same league settings? I am probably going with Pasta, followed by Dry, followed by Cooch, and then it's a toss up between Makar, Rant. Like, though, you can't really go wrong with any of those guys. You could make arguments for all of them, especially in a league with 2 power play points, which this is. I could understand wanting to take Draisaitl just because he's on a really, really good power play. But you can't go wrong. I would go Pasta first out of those names. Makar, Pasta, Rantanen pick 6. You suspect the D run early round 2. Do I? Yep, D definitely go early. They do in FPPL. At least we saw 6 go in the first 2 rounds, including 5 in round 2. So D runs are possible, especially if people kind of are aware of how quickly it thins out. Long Dong, Crypto, Ekblad, Boakfist, or Eric Gustafson. You're kind of just throwing a dart at this point. You're hoping one of them sticks on power play 1. In that case, I'm going to take Gustafson, who we've seen the most success from and is currently on PP1. Then I'll go Boakfist Ekblad. So, Gustafson has had some really good years in his career. Those are probably behind him. But if he stays on PP1 on Detroit, we could see, 40 points from him maybe. Maybe 10 to 15 power play points. My friend Jeremy, again, Ashton with the Jeremy. Traded Sway, Hamilton, and Bratt for Sanderson and Tom Wilson. I feel like you're just trolling at this point. I think you know the answer to that. I'm not going to answer that. Wallman as D5 in a plus-minus league? Probably not. I think there's probably better options. I would go with like a Gustafson, Boakfist, Jeff, if I was going for my 5th defenseman. All right, Lozon goes 15-5 to top G, so he covers some periffs there. Good hit and block total guy. Always kind of one of those guys you see on the waiver wire when you're sorting hits and blocks in the middle of the season. Jake Neighbors, who I'm big on this year, he's power play 1, probably going to be left wing 1 on St. Louis. So he's got a good, likelihood to score maybe 30 this year. The shot rate was a little lower than I would like, and the shooting percentage was a little bit higher than I would like, making me think there's some regression coming. But hey, he's got a good opportunity as anybody. Kuzmenko, similar spot to Neighbors, actually doesn't shoot enough. I want to see more shots, and we'll see that shooting percentage correct a little bit because it's a little bit inflated, as it was in his first year where he had 39. But hey, we're talking 15th round here, totally fine. Zegras goes 15-8. Hopefully we get a healthy season from him. He's an entertaining player, like him or not. What the Puck takes a injury stash with Landy. Zetterlund goes 15-10. I like this pick a lot from Flying Camels. Mike beat me to Zetterlund in the FPPL West Division draft the other night. I like Zetterlund. He covers categories. It's a non plus minus league. No reason you can't take a guy like Zetterlund late. And then his teammate Macklin goes 15-11. I actually want to correct myself. I said earlier Toffoli would be the first guy I pick on San Jose. It's actually Zetterlund. Toffoli would be number 2. Jack Quinn goes 15-12. Drouin goes 16-1. I actually like that Drouin pick. He doesn't do a lot. He's like a lesser Nugent Hopkins in terms of peripherals. You're just banking on hopefully some assists. He's got the chem with McKinnon. He's going to probably be power play 1, especially to start the year when they're missing Nichushkin and Lehkonen. Luke Hughes, another injury stash, we see go to Western Valley. Josh Norris at 16-3. Cutter Gauthier, great pick by What the Puck. Hopefully he got that from watching some FP content or seeing some tweets. We talk about Cutter a lot. He's had a good preseason. He had one really good game where he had 12 shots a couple nights ago against San Jose, and that kind of put our attention on him and said, hey, this guy's probably going to make the team. They're giving him a lot of minutes. He played 20 minutes that night, so I like this lottery ticket pick. Philip Hronik, Radko Gudas. I haven't seen Gudas go very much actually in the FPPL. That's kind of like a Lausanne though, so covers your categories for you. Huberdeau, interesting pick here. I think he's center left wing still. He is power play 1 right now in Calgary. We might not ever see another 100-point year from Huberdeau, but anything like 60, 70 points would be very good in the 16th round. Couple late goalies. One of them I particularly like, which is Jari. He should start. Nedeljkovic is actually day to day right now. They just announced he suffered, I think, a lower body injury. I did put that in the Discord. That's a reminder for everyone watching. If you're not in the Discord, make sure you join. We're posting, daily in there. Question, answers, advice, feedback on your teams, anything you want. It's pretty active in there, almost too active for me to catch up sometimes on all the comments, but you can find what you want in there. We see Skinner go, good lottery ticket pick. 30 goal upside on him if he's playing with the right guys in Edmonton. Jake Wallman, okay with him in a non plus minus league. Jamie Benn goes 16-12. Let's see. All right, so Jeff clarifies Wallman D5 in a 15-team league. Okay, that's okay. You might kind of have to punt plus minus with him. He's gonna be probably like a minus 30. Jake Wallman is, but 15-team league, you're gonna get into some really deep guys. So, are we drafting Gostisbehere over Burns at this point? Yes, Witzers, I'm taking Ghost over Burns. Ghost is PP1, Burns is PP2, and getting up there in age. So, Big Red, how many goalies do you recommend on a team? I'm okay with 2 if they're high volume guys. So if you get kind of the number one from teams, you're good with 2. A third one never hurts. It kind of removes that need to go sifting through the waiver wire if one of your goalies gets hurt early. I think I took 3 in my first draft, in my first FPPL draft. So we'll see what I do at 9 o'clock in the Creators League. Depends on what falls, but 2 or 3 max. Depends on who you get. If you're going to take some like 1A, 1B guys, I would probably take 3 just so you can maximize your starts. Frosty Canadian asks, want to add Jack Quinn for upside, drop on a Zaka, Zellweger, or Genther. Definitely don't drop Dylan Genther. I'd be fine dropping Zaka for Quinn. He is no longer playing with Pasta as of now. I think it'll be Elias Lindholm playing with Pasta. My friend Jerome invited me to a league that counts goals as 1 point and assists as 2 points. Should I join this league? Sure, if you want, Connor. A lot of friend questions tonight. I'm not sure what the theme is, but yeah, go ahead. Any league is a good league if you've got the bandwidth for it. Just plug those projections into the FP customizable projections, and see what churns out as the best players to draft. Use that. Hey, any thoughts on Pavel Zacha? Just saw he's on Pasta's line at PP1. All right, so if they're playing him at center, I don't think he's going to be on Pasta's line because Elias Lindholm should be the 1C there. He very well could be PP1 just because they don't have a ton of top heavy forwards on Boston. He doesn't do enough for me unless he is playing with Pasta regularly. You can probably avoid or look elsewhere. He's a fine late round pick though. White Ninja. Ray Donovan, Breadman just left the game again. Thank you for the update. That's good to know about Panarin. Let's see who took Panarin. It was at the turn. So Curtis actually took him at the turn. So first round, second round pick. So keep that in mind, Curtis, if you're watching. Panarin did leave. I don't know the severity yet. Thank you, though, for the update, Ray. How early is too early for Tage? Probably too early, second round. You're fine taking him in the third round. He offers good shot on goal upside. Supposedly he's healthy. He might have been nursing some like wrist injuries last year. He's good, 35 goal candidate, 40 goals. We've seen him do it. So I'm good with him in the third. Fourth is ideal, though, kind of like Timo Meyer. All right, so Benson starts the last round, followed by Moore. Kopitar goes 17-3, which is fine. Malkin goes 17-4, which I like even more. He just had a good. He had an empty netter I saw in the hometown hockey game in Sudbury, Ontario. Duclair goes 17-5. Dustin Wolf goes to Utah. I like that pick a lot. That's his third goalie, and that's a perfect third goalie in my opinion. He should start in Calgary. One of those guys that's performed at every level too. So it might not be this year for Wolf, but give it a couple years, he's gonna be a stud. Owen Power goes to Rocky in the last round. Not huge on that. I think Byram has jumped him on the depth chart, probably as more of an offensive defenseman. Hurdle, Duchesne, Arvidsson, Stone, and then we're in the last pick right now. I usually can't see who goes last for some reason, unless I expand this. It was. Oh, I still can't see. It glitches. So the last pick glitches. We will have to see who Curtis takes. I'll have a look at some of the teams in a sec. Hurdle, as I mentioned, went. I like that pick. Should be PP1 in Vegas on a still Vegas really good team. I'm okay with him, even though he's a pure C. Duchesne goes, Arvidsson, and then Stone. I just want to see a healthy season from Stone. He could give you 60, 70 points. All right, let's wrap up these comments here, and then I'll get into some quick reviews of teams. Sanderson over Hamilton. I disagree with that. Ashton's friend Jeremy. You guys are just screwing around now. So, Hamilton over Sanderson, in my opinion. They've got him currently at left wing. Okay, interesting. So Zaka, I guess he is a center left wing, but I guess they have him at left wing right now. If that's the line, Zaka, Lindholm, Pasta, I'm okay with Zaka a little bit more. I still think Lindholm is kind of like more of a priority on that line. How many defensemen do you advise drafting? It's dependent obviously on how many leagues in your team, how many teams in your league, and how many D spots on your starting lineup. So most of the time it's 4. I believe that's what FPPL is. In that case, I like 5 at a minimum. I want someone that I like on my bench rather than having to sift through the waiver wire because of an injury or something, and it just maximizes defense games played. So 5 at a minimum, assuming it's normal settings. My friend wants me to go out drinking tonight. It's a work day. I mean, you don't pass up on opportunities to hang out with your friends, Nick. Any opportunity with your friend is a good one. Whatever you're doing, even if it's a work day, you can work any day, but have fun with your friends. Don't know if he's a placeholder for someone though. I don't know. I think Lindholm just kind of was inserted back into the lineup, White Ninja, so that might be kind of some rough projected lines right now. Lindholm's upside in Boston. Well, we've seen him like produce really well, right? In Calgary, he doesn't have the kind of like same lineup he had of like Johnny Gaudreau and Matt Tkachuk in Calgary, but he's got Pasta, who's probably just as good, if not better. I'm thinking ceiling, we're looking at maybe like 70 to 80 points, best case. Realistically, it's probably going to be closer to like 60 to 70. But what you're hoping on when you're taking him in fantasy is the power play points. So, as I said in my draft before, on another stream, you're hoping that he gets 15 to 20 power play points just because he's playing with Pasta and he's playing on a pretty good power play. So, that's kind of why I'm looking at Lindholm. He is going a little bit earlier than I would like in a lot of drafts. He went 8-6 here. I'm more so looking like 9-10 maybe, but he's still a good player. Jeremy has Panarin. He'll be devastated. Oh my God, Jeremy having a tough year so far. The year hasn't even started for Jer. All right, I don't know if any of you guys in this draft are in the Discord or sorry, in the chat. If you want me to have a look at a team or review a team, I can. We're about 45 minutes until the Creators League draft that Chris is going to host, so I don't want to be in here past 8:30 because I need to take a break before I need to draft. But if you guys want me to have a look and review any teams, I will. It was a good draft. I still don't know who Curtis took last overall, but I can check. Let's see. He took Giroux. Okay, so that's totally fine. Last round, veteran, pretty safe on Ottawa. I was reading he wasn't going to be on PP1, but if he is or if that changes, it's last overall. So you're just hoping for something to pan out for you. Okay. Fred, yo, I got a 20 team league, 21 round draft. Holy, that's a big league. You are going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel for players. 1 point goal, 1 point assist, 2 point win, 2 point shutout for goalies. Want to go 0G strat? Got any good sleeper goalies? Yeah, so if you're going 0G, we like Kemper as probably the best 0G goalie to target. You can get him like 9th to 11th round. Markstrom also sometimes falls to like the 8th and 9th round. That's another good guy to get. He went early tonight, but we can you can find him later in some other leagues, especially if there's non-experts and more casual guys in the league. Um, Otherwise, I like Dustin Wolf. Seelovs has a potential to pay off this year really late. Lucas Dostal on Anaheim has a potential. Corpusalo is probably our biggest sleeper late round goalie that's actually like going in the double digit rounds. He's probably going to start majority of the games until Swayman signs. So if you can get your hands on Corpusalo, Wolf, any of those other guys I mentioned, that's totally a great call for your league. Cheers for the feedback. No problem, Living Legend, anytime. Please review my team Dangle season. Sure. Moise, I recognize the name here. Let me go to the team list. Keller. Where's Keller? Okay, so yeah, right. Yeah, you had second overall. Okay, so you went Max second as expected. Meyer in the second round was a little bit early. I know I mentioned that earlier, and I think you said it was a kind of a panic pick because of the D. You did make up for it. I mentioned you picked three really good D between round 4 and 8 between McAvoy, Uyghur, and Letang. So you were able to get your hands on it and fix the kind of lack of D in the first 3 rounds. York at 10, a little bit early for him, but he is probably going to be power play 1 there. You got your Carolina stack, which I was not able to do, so I'm very jealous about that. Boone Jenner, good peripheral guy if he can stay healthy. You've grabbed a third goalie as well with Urson. Nothing too crazy at the end of the draft. I would have maybe liked to see a lottery ticket pick like a Cutter Gauthier or someone to that extent. But you picked some safe guys. Byfield, I'm hoping, has a kind of a breakout year this year. Maybe even kind of leapfrogs Kopitar kind of as their you know main forward there. Lekanen, good IR stash, so I'll be interested to see who you pick up there. But good draft overall. I really like how you corrected the quick D going with these 4 through 8 picks. All right, check out my 0D strat at pick 1. Yes, I did notice that, Vincent. You had McDavid, Marner, Hyman, so you went with the Edmonton stack. I was. This is kind of an interesting team because I thought with the 0D it would have looked a little bit worse. You pretty much are going for the hit and block categories with these D, which is fine. It might work out for you. Some of these late D might not work out for them. The offensive D might not work out for the people that did take like the Brant Clark and whatnot. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go. You have really good forwards, obviously, because you weren't picking the D, and you grab two really, really good goalies. So you have two top three goalies. Gives you a little bit of flexibility if you wanted to trade one, maybe in the mid-season if someone gets hurt. Gives you some options. I'm okay with this. I thought 0D would look a little bit worse, but it's a really attractive front half of the draft. Let's see. Can't wait for creators. Like I agree, Living Legend. I gotta get some more water, and I need a little bit of a break before that starts. I like what the Pucks team, All Things Hockey, says. I think you mentioned that early too. Yeah, this is good. I like the first 8 picks are pretty good. He got his D coverage with Sergachev, Darlene, and Faber. Not huge on Gorgiev, but I think I mentioned earlier too. Uh, in the ninth round, he's okay there. I'm just a little worried with what a Noonan might do. He's got Ingram, so a little shaky on the goalies. I don't really trust either of them, if I'm being perfectly honest. Genther at 12, Paterka at 11. Two really good picks. Big fan of that. And I was just mentioning Cutter Gauthier. He got him second last round, so no concerns with the forwards. The goalies, I'm a little bit hesitant on, but yes, very good first 8 picks for what the puck. Joe's asking for a Utah review team. Yes, so the team that we were actually co-managing as the streaming team. So thank you for letting us do that. This is a good start. I like this a lot. So Makar, he went 3D. So I was mentioning this. Dip did something similar. Who's a mod in the Discord, so you might be familiar with him. He went D heavy to start as well. Makar, Dobson, Sider. You pretty much were set with D, and then you even followed up with Seth Jones in the ninth, which is great. So I'm big on Wyatt Johnson this year. Hopefully he has a good year. 40 goals is definitely within reach for him. Also had a really good playoff. So your first 5 picks, I love. Really good D's. Stuart Skinner in the 7th round, totally good. He very well could lead the league in wins on a team like Edmonton, even if he's not going to have the best goals against or the best save percentage. Wasn't big on the Tuck pick there, but I figured you were kind of looking for more right wingers. Horvat, Falk, Bennington. So you got 3 really good goalies. So Bennington, Wolf, and Skinner. Those, if I got those 3D in one of my drafts, I'd be very happy. And you got Jake Neighbors, who I'm big on. So I really like this team. Probably Utah, one of my top 3 teams of this league. Good luck in the Creators League. Thank you, Wicked. Great stream. Thank you. Appreciate it. As always, you're the best. Curtis in the 12th spot. Okay, Curtis. So you went Panarin Yossi back to back. Panarin first a little bit, I guess, early in the first round, but you could have easily taken him at the turn too. So no issues there. Aho in the third, I don't love just because he's a pure center. Carolina kind of doesn't prioritize their forwards as much as they should, at least their star forwards. That's why you kind of see Svechnikov fall a little bit. He doesn't play enough, in my opinion. He should be playing 20 minutes a night, and he plays closer to like 17, 18 a lot. But DeBrincat round 7, I like. He's power play 1. He should hopefully have another good season. He had a really good first half. Not so good of a second half, but I'm still taking him in round 7 to 9 as well. Ilya Sorokin at 8, good goalie. Hopefully he's healthy. You got his tandem in Varlamov. Regardless of Sorokin's health, I probably would have taken another goalie just to have security and maximize your starts. Harley, totally fine with him at 11. Ekholm, I'm not huge on Ekholm. I think like with Bouchard there, with Nurse there, there's not enough kind of for him as well. Not enough fantasy points to go around. Drouin, okay with him at 16. As I said, he's a poor man's Nuge, and Nuge was going in like round 8. So you got him 8 rounds later. So I like that. Good draft overall. No concerns. I would just probably grab another goalie. Can you review Rocky's team? Also mixed Byram and Power. I was thinking Byram. Oh, I gotcha. Okay, because I did comment on Power, and I was like, he doesn't really do enough fantasy-wise, but you just mix the two up. No issues. No worries. So you also went Edmonton Stack, Leon, Bouchard, Tage. I like that first 3. That's a really good starter. And you got Leon at 7, which I don't think we've seen Leon that low yet. OV round 4, you are hoping he hits the goal record. If he does that, it means he would have had a good season. So Matheson as your D2 was also my D2 in the FPPL draft. I like that, and then you also got the Sanderson at 7. So D pretty solid. You kind of waited on the D after the Sanderson pick, and then grabbed Gudis. As you said, you can go ahead and drop Power if you want to pick up Byram. I don't think he went. I like Kuzmenko late. He's got to show us he can kind of repeat what he's done in Vancouver. And then you went with the goalie tandem in Boston. So I like this. You have Hill for the security, and then you have the goalie tandem for the Boston. So whoever Boston decides to start or sign, you've got them. I like that. McCann also. This is also a really good team. I like your team, Rocky. Frosty says took Stutz over Gensel from Ottawa, so the guys usually go earlier than normal. Oh, okay, you're from Ottawa, so those guys go earlier. I get you. Just don't like Gensel's injury history. Any thoughts on this? Stu, that's totally fine. Stu offers the hit upside that Gensel doesn't, and I think and he's younger. So I think you mentioned it was a keeper league, so totally fine with that. No worries. Thanks for a great stream, Ashton's friend Jeremy. No problem. I hope I helped you out with all your questions. Can you review Dangle's season? Sure. I think I did. Yes, I did review Dangle's season. Moise team. Yeah. Oh no, I didn't. Sorry. I thought I did. I think I skipped right to Curtis. All right, so started with Matthews at 4. So you benefited from someone taking Pasta at 3 and took Matthews at 4. So he fell to you, followed up with Forsberg. So you got 4 really good forwards to start, goal heavy forwards for yourself. And then you were able to do John Carlson, Werenski back to back to kind of save the D run. After that, it gets a little bit weak with Chikrin. I just don't know what kind of value he's going to bring given his injury history and the fact that Carlson's there. John Carlson. So Chikrin's kind of PP2 at best right now. You do have John Carlson as well, but in that case, I would have even faded away from Chikrin even more. Hagel, I think you're hoping that PP1 is in the books for him. Not sure about what that status is right now. We've seen Cam Atkinson on PP1 a lot recently. Michikov at 12. This is probably your best pick of the draft, in my opinion. I like that a lot in the 12th round. And then you got Jari and Malkin. So these are 2 safe picks. Malkin, if he's healthy, he's going to score. They're going to use him. He's like a fan favorite, a team favorite. So I like those 2 end picks. This is a pretty solid team. The D needs a little bit of strengthening, in my opinion. But when you miss out on that D run in the first 4 rounds, that's kind of what happened and even happened to me. Wildly competitive draft. People flying off the board early. I agree, Kurt. I agree. It was a good draft. All the FPPL ones are. I just sent my team on the channel. Rate my team on Discord. Can you check it out, please, Philippe? Yes, I will pop in there after I get off stream. That channel is always busy. I try and get around to it every few hours because there's like 5 or 6 people that have put teams in there. So I try and get around and provide some feedback as much as I can. Cheers. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Kurt. And if you were the Kurt in the draft, good draft and good luck this season. Wicked, did you take a pick of the draft board? I did not. I will do that. Oh, I guess I can't. FP guys will not be happy, but oh well. The draft results are right here. What do you think of Heischer this year? I'm not huge on Heischer. I think just because Hughes is kind of the priority center there, Heischer kind of gets like the short end of the stick while he deserves to be a 1C somewhere else. I'm not picking him. He's also going a little bit too early for me. I think he went 9th round this draft. I like him in the double digits, like maybe 10 or 11, but he's not going that late. So I'm not huge on Heischer. You're still looking at like 70 points from him. He also has had some injury concern, but yeah, there's worse centers to take. Long crypto Talbot or Decor. That is a tough one. I will say, I'll say Decord. It's tough. There's really it's a toss up. Detroit has a packed crease right now. They have like Talbot, Jack Campbell, Lyon, and I think someone else, and Huso. So they have four goalies who we've seen play in the NHL at like multiple seasons in the NHL and play to a good extent. So I don't really know what their plan is. Talbot's old; he's like 37. Decord's younger. Seattle is, I think, kind of in a similar place to Detroit, where they're just on the outside of the playoff bubble looking in. Grubauer didn't really do much last year, and Decord kind of took over. So, um, yeah, I would go with Decord. Sleep says, "Thank you, LMAO. Blame me, FP down for not getting the pick." No, no problem. I went to this draft results page and didn't stay on this, so it's all right. Okay, it is 8:30. Thank you, everybody. I am going to hop off. FP Chris is going to be on in about 30 minutes for the Content Creators League. I'm going to go to the washroom, get a drink, get a snack. I want to see all you guys back here at 9 o'clock for the Creators League, and I hope I have a good draft. Yeah, not really sure what to think. We don't know our draft order yet. I can find it out right now, so I have no idea where I'm picking. Hopefully, it's good. I'd like to see like round or pick 10 to 12 ideally, because I had an early pick already in the FPPL West division. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys soon. Hopefully, great stream. Drop a like before you go. Don't forget to follow us on our social media on Twitter. We're posting stuff every day, retweeting news. Yeah. So can't say enough good things about the FB content. So see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.